In this video, I'm going to walk through the configuration promotion process. In order to make a change in production, you first need to make it in your demo environment, thoroughly test it, and then send it to production. So I'm going to walk through how we do that. In this case, I want to hide some forms and fields that are currently in the production environment. So I'm going to find the form that I want to modify. In this case, I'm going to hide a few fields that are on the services form by going into the field settings and finding those fields and not making them visible to the user. Once I've made all of my appropriate changes that I no longer want to see in the environment, I'm going to hit save. Once this is saved, you will see at the bottom of the screen the form selection has been successfully updated. In order to verify this, I am now going to go into my cases. I'm going to create a new case and then make sure that those changes that I just made are appearing. Once you've come to the form that you want to verify, refresh the screen. This will ensure that the change you just made is actually saved into the configuration. So going back into the services form, I'm now going to go select Add and scroll all the way down, and I can no longer see those fields that I have now hidden. So now I want to make sure that this is in my production environment. In order to do that, I need to save this configuration, which is essentially saving all of the forms and fields that you currently see here in your demo environment. To do that, I'm going into the settings and then clicking on configurations. Here, I'm going to now create a new configuration because this is new changes based on what I just made. So I'm going to name it today's date and put in a description of what I've done. And then you hit save. Putting in a description is something that's useful, especially for other system administrators to know what has been saved and the changes made for every configuration. Once that's been saved, you now want to send this to your production environment. You'll be prompted to verify that you're sure that you want to send this to production, and then you can select Send if you're ready. You'll see at the bottom of the screen that is now sending to your production environment. So now let's log into production and see what you need to do. Some environments already have single sign-on and some environments do not. You can now sign in with your system administrator credentials in order to apply this configuration. Once logged in, you will go into the settings. You will now go into configurations. Here, you will see the latest configuration that I just sent. It's July 25th and I hid some services fields for external referrals. I can now view that configuration and select Apply. I first want to make sure that I'm only applying this at a downtime when there are not that many users utilizing the system. The reason for that is the system will go down for a couple minutes. I'm going to now hit Apply, knowing that there are no users using the system. And the prompt here is you will see that the system will be unavailable for a few minutes for users. Now once I select Apply, you will see at the bottom of the screen that the server is temporarily unavailable, and now the screen will begin to pinwheel, as you're seeing now. Once it's successfully applied, you will now see that at the bottom of the screen where it says July 25th and the time that it has been applied. So you know that the latest configuration is now available on your production environment. Going back to the demo environment, you will need to do this not just for form changes. If you would like to make any modifications to the roles in the production environment, so any of the roles that you see here, the agencies, as well as the service mapping that you see here, or any of the lookups that you see here, you must first make these changes in your demo environment and follow this process to send your configuration to production. Once you're in your production environment, there are certain configurations that you need to just do directly. One of those is adding the users. Any user that is in your production environment must be added manually here by selecting the +new button. This is the same for user groups. All user groups must also be manually added or edited through the production environment. The locations will also be added or edited directly into production. And lastly, the contact information. All of this must be edited directly in production.